All right, Brian, so we talked about 3 of the 4 signs that you may be saving too much. And this is an interesting one because, again, I think this is unique to our audience, but you need to recognize if you've surpassed your financial goals, you already know that you've hit your number and you've done the things that you're supposed to do and you're where you're supposed to be at, and yet you're still not saving. You've not been able to flip that switch over to consumption. It may be a sign that you're saving too much.
Now, look, I want to make sure we're clear. I want people to do the work, meaning you actually have calculated, and this is why we did the course and the tool, Know Your Number.
That's right, yep.
It's because you do need to figure out, are you ahead of the curve? Are you behind the curve? If you're on the curve. But if you do a full analysis and you look at your life and you're not going to run out of money, but yet you're still living this miserly life where you're not making memories, you're not doing anything, use this as a wake-up call.
I tell you, one of our favorite things, we in our day jobs, we get to be fee-only financial advisors. And people always think that what a financial advisor does is tell you, save more money, invest more. While that's part of it, I would argue one of our favorite things in the world to do is when a client does get to financial independence, we get to be that voice of reason that says, hey, it's okay. Yes, you can buy the new car. Yes, you can go on the trip. Yes, you can do the home renovation. Yes, you can fill in the blank. You'd be amazed at how many times it is such a struggle to tell a client, hey, how about we just turn on an automatic paycheck for you where every month you have an extra $500, an extra $1,000 hit your account. Let's just try it on for size and see how it works. Just like saving was a skill that you had to get better at, consumption is also a skill that some people actually have to learn. And you've spent your entire life, your entire career being a saver. At some point, you're going to want to figure out, how do I get to enjoy the fruits of all that hard work that I did? Because unfortunately, if you don't spend it, the statistics show, you already said them, second and third generation, going to have no problem doing it.
Yeah, that's why I like to say we're spending coaches. I think it's the perception is your advisor is going to say no to everything. In reality, it's one of my favorite parts of my job is I love helping people live their best life in retirement.
So what can you do? Know where you are and know where you're going. The only way to know that if you've reached the financial independence point, the only way to know that you are at that abundant stage is to really understand, okay, where am I? Do I have enough that's going to provide for me for the rest of my life? Given the unknown unknowns, have I stress tested? Have I gone through the work necessary to know? If you've not done that yet, you can't say I'm at that place. But if you have done it, that's when you should probably start to think through adjusting your behavior.
Well, I love that you just said stress test the plan. Because look, there's nothing wrong with using the 4% rule, even our Know Your Number. Those are great planning tools, especially while you're in the beginning stages where you are trying to figure out you're ahead of the curve, behind the curve, or right on the curve. But once you actually have to start living off this money, you don't want a napkin financial plan. Right. You actually want to know, hey, is this okay? Because I might be walking away from a really great income, and once I cross this threshold, I can't exactly get back. And there's a chance I've only done one retirement. I'd like to get somebody who's done this maybe hundreds, if not thousands of times as a firm, so I have some experience and I know what I'm getting myself into. Don't skip the step of maybe going beyond the napkin plan and actually doing a full financial plan or a stress test. This is a great time to maybe take the relationship to the next level.
Now, as a cautionary tale, one thing that we see all the time and we would caution you against is don't get out ahead of your skis. And this is what we mean by that. We see so many times somebody who will be in their late 20s, early 30s, mid-30s say, hey guys, I've done the math. I've been saving diligently. I'm going to continue saving for the next 30 years. And on paper, my spreadsheet tells me that when I get to retirement, I'm going to have $30 million and I'm never going to spend that. So I feel like I'm at financial independence. On paper, it sounds pretty good and it looks pretty good, but you're not there yet. So be careful arriving at the conclusion that all the hard work has been done when you haven't actually done the hard work yet. There's nothing wrong with having a projection and moving along in your projection. But you need to be closer to the finish line and the starting line before you begin changing behavior.
What also is what's on the net worth statement, because it's one thing. I mean, you put too rosy of assumptions. There's a lot of financial content out there that you can, whether it's goosing the return, if you put 12%, 15%, or if it's you make the safe withdrawal rate 8%, or you see all kind of those things can make you feel way more comfortable, and that's fine. Maybe if you need some motivation, if you're putting, but when it comes to actually having the money underneath you and on the net worth statement, you've got to be somewhat conservative, because once again, you're going through a threshold of change that you got to measure twice, cut once, because you can't get the water back up the hill. So you want to make sure you're on solid ground, not off some rosy projection that may or may not work out.
Now, if you want some help figuring, okay, am I on track, or do I know if I'm moving through the correct milestones that I want to be moving through? We actually just did a show titled, Are You on Track to Becoming a Multimillionaire? This is where we lay out a number of financial milestones. So if you want to know where you are and are you hitting these milestones, we would encourage you, go check that out. And that will let you know, am I doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing? Am I out ahead of my skis, or have I actually hit the markers that I'm supposed to be hitting along my financial journey? Go check that out if you've not had a chance to listen to that yet.